What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Vinny D for your weekly Xbox One World War II leaderboards recap. For anybody new here who stumbled upon this video, if you go and take a look at your total score on the leaderboards or through Xbox One, if you're around the 6 million mark with an SPM of 300 plus, this video might be interesting for you and you might want to watch it. For anybody else who's subscribed to the channel, who is aware of what's going on, now let's jump right into it. Last week I had mentioned to you guys top 100. I had to sort through 1100 positions to actually find the legit 100. Well, this week it actually got worse. We are currently looking at a screenshot from Sunday night when I extract the data. We're at 2600 over here, and this is where it starts calming down. I mean, it's this is where you'll start seeing the boosting or the account cloning, whatever you want to call them, kind of go away. So I really had to sort through a lot of junk and weed out a lot of guys this week. It took me a lot of time, but the names pop up, the same guys show up, so I was able to pull it out for you. I just thought I'd mention it. Hopefully Xbox fixes this because it just got double bad in the last 2 weeks. So good news is a lot of these accounts are idle. They're not putting any points onto them. They're just sitting around. So if you're in front of them, they won't pass you, and if you're behind them, you will pass them. The thing is, once people hit 1,000 on the accounts that are still running, it's going to be hard to determine exactly you know, who was legit and who's not, but we'll worry about that when that comes. You know, a lot of glitching going on with the leaderboards. I see accounts coming in and going out, legit accounts, guys that were on the leaderboards that were actually 100% legit and that are no longer there. So I have no idea what's going on with that. So there could be some account changes going on, but let's jump right into the top 100 guys for the week. We're looking at the leaderboards for this week. Again, I will be providing the URL to the website so you guys can go and take a look yourself. These were pulled from Sunday night. We're looking at last week. We're looking where we sit right now. Not much change at the top. Twitch MadTV, #1 as usual. 2 days, 19 hours played. You know what their end goal is for the year, is to spank 1 million kills, and they won't stop till they get there. We had mentioned AdriianLo, put in 8 hours last week, 7 hours the week before, maybe hit that 1,000 level, and they stopped. Scudze bounced them, and here's the proof. 18 million to 17 million. You know, a day and 14 hours played. There's no turning back at this point. I see everybody in the top 10 actually passing the AdriianLo account if there's not much more action being put into it, because these guys are not slowing down. A lot of time, you know, is still putting into the top 10 guys. MERCENAIRE Atom just keeps climbing. You know, a little bit of a lower SPM than Scudze, so it's going to be hard to actually catch him. But he's one guy who's been putting in, you know, 2 days consistently over the last little while. Something that I did want to mention, now that we'll be able to go back on historical data and you guys could look for yourself, is I find it pretty sad that the time played has really declined over the last couple of weeks. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not sure if that's because of the waiting for the DLC, boredom, leaderboards, but if we take a look now, I'll just show you guys the top 15. We could, you know, you could look over the rest if you want. You know, if you look at the time played over here from the guys who, you know, are there for the leaderboards, and we look at the beginning of December, look at the difference over here. Everybody was playing 2 days, you know, a day and a half. Now you're finding guys like playing 15, 16 hours a week, you know, 15, 16 hours a week. The decline is there. I mean, it's been there since that boost and the account glitches, and people seem to kind of got pissed off and, you know, quit on carrying or motivation, whatever we want to call it. It's just very funny to see. Yes, everybody is wet when the game first comes out. You know, we're looking at numbers here with guys playing 2 days, but now the decline is very obvious that, you know, guys are not playing as much. I just showed you the top 15. If you guys want to take a look at the full 100 and compare yourselves, you'll see like names that would stick out that are just not playing much anymore. So you know, let's hope that changes. You know, I'm all for you guys to keep grinding and put in the time, but a lot of it has to do with the leaderboards and just content being boring. So let's hopefully at the end of the month things change with that. You know, again, Scudze and War Ninja over here, I'd like to, you know, give them merit, because looking back at the time played, these guys put in the hours week in and week out, sitting on the board for 8 weeks in a row now. If I looked, you know, I looked back at the previous weeks, and it's, you know, come hell or high water, these guys put in their time. So I thought I'd mention them. You know, props to you guys for continuing the grind through tough times. If we drop down from 16 to 35, you know, your names are on here. You'll have access to take a look at it. What I like to do is I look at the, you know, the million point club, I call it. Who's banged out 1 million points in the week and how they did it. So zliilii over here at 16, 1.3 million, 2 days played. you know, big time played. After when you see guys playing 13, 14 hours, and you know this person's almost played 3 days over here, you know, you're obviously going to jump. You're not going to jump as much as when you're done top 50, but closer you get to top 10, things slow down, but still an impressive jump. Same over here with Emerge Kratos, you know, 1,000,000 points. Great job done on a day and 12 hours played. I mean, a lot of things. Where I like to look at here is what's going on with the weeks on board. Are guys actually, you know, dropping out, or are they continuing to push? So you'll see here, you know, they've been sitting around the leaderboards. They're not going anywhere yet for the top 30. But as we move down, guys, you'll notice that a lot of guys that have been sitting on the boards for many weeks are actually calling it quits. So we'll see what things change. I mean, again, if it's in red, that means your SPM has gone down this week if your name's here. And you could take a look at, you know, who's ahead of you, who's behind you, and what kind of trend and what kind of hours they're putting in. So this is here for you guys. Looking from 36 to 50, this is where, I mean, a lot of guys put in big amounts of time, but don't necessarily have the SPM. And what I mean by that is somebody like Veins Icy, who's been on the board now only for 2 weeks. You know, in 2 weeks he's climbed up to number 36 legitly, and that's because of the time he puts in. When you're playing 4 days in 2 weeks, it's a lot. Even though his SPM is a little lower, you will climb. You know, 18 spot jump. So props to that. That just goes to show the guys with the lower SPM. You know, it's just a matter of putting in the time over here. Another notable was Infant Yeezys over here at 43. You know, again, when you've been on the board, I kind of have my eyes on you, and I root for you guys to stick around. And Infant Yeezy has been there for 6 weeks. I mean, the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago he played no hours. Last week he played only 9 hours, but he bounced back strong with a day and 15 hours this week. So good to see him back pushing up and competing. Something that I did want to mention over here is that, you know, All Tactics and X80X1. Okay, this is kind of fishy right here. And what I mean by that is it looks like an account clone. All Tactics has not had any times played in the last 2 weeks, and he keeps dropping. Okay, if you look at the numbers over here, they're very similar. Like, it's almost like this was cloned over to X81, and you know, the account just fizzled or died out or got banned or whatever. So I put him in here for now, both of them, to show you guys. Again, 1 week is not going to change anything. If they're removed next week, it's not a problem. It's just because of the credentials that All Tactics YT had. You know, when you're on the board for 8 weeks, I can't just pull the plug on you like that. I mean, the beginning when I started, and it was a lot easier, you know, I looked and I put the time in to look at everybody, and it's you were there putting in the time. Yes, things change. You know, people could turn to the dark side at any given moment, but until proven, you know, I just thought I'd bring that up. We'll see how it turns out next week, but this might be 2 slots that might open up. If I don't see any change here going on, you know, they might need to be removed here. I just thought that this kind of looks like an account clone, very similar. Even if you're looking at the actual boards from last week, this is not this week, this is actually last week. Here's X81 and 321, and here's the YouTube's, the All Tactics account. As you can see, this is not from this week. Again, last week, it's been nothing. Both of the accounts have not moved, which tends me to believe that it was a clone and the account got cracked. So we'll keep an eye on that. Thought I'd bring that out. That's exactly how things work, you know. And now if we go from the 50 downwards, this is where you see a lot of guys dropping out, jumping in, and this is where a lot of the, you know, guys will sneak in, and it's going to be hard to actually control. I think a little bit of what changed since the beginning is we used to see from 50 to 100 still guys in here with strong SPMs. Now you're going to see guys with lower SPMs, you know, 300 to 400, and you know, just putting in time. Over here, last week, I want to be a fat kid, 99, now 64, a little bit of a lower SPM. I mean, still very strong, but you know, not the 450 range. However, his putting in his time. Same here, goes up for I still kill 193. You know, lower SPM, putting in the time. So things have actually shifted a lot with the Xbox side of things. If your name, you know, is not here, it could be here because it's very easy. A lot of the guys are quitting on it. Let's take a look. Tyler over here, Tyler Jareb. You know, I've been following him since the beginning. Also, 8 weeks on the board. Sad to say, no time played. Same over here, gaming, no time played. You know, these are guys that are trending downwards. Somebody will jump in and grab your spot. It's just the fact of, will the lower SPM guys have enough time and put in enough time to actually catch them? Because it's very hard to hit 1,000,000 points with a lower SPM no matter what kind of time you put in. I also wanted to bring something up to, number 68 over here. Mavifiv Brazil, 2 weeks on the board. Look at this SPM, guys. 204 SPM, 24 days played. I mean, I don't know if he's playing with his little brother and they're just sharing, working off of one account from home, but needless to say, needs to be, worth mentioning. To play that much with such a low SPM and break in, I mean, that's pretty impressive. So I'm rooting for you, buddy. 2 weeks on the boards. Hopefully you keep it up. More of the top guys we're seeing that are dropping out, 8 weeks on board. EHHD. Sign, another long time guy who's been here, no time played. Again, maybe we're jumping the gun. It's only been, it's only 1 week we're looking at, but we'll look going forward to see if these are signs of, dropping out of the leaderboard and stopping to play. So the rest of it is pretty much self-explanatory. The new guys jumping into the top 100. It's like that every week. When we look from 80 downwards, this is where you'll see guys not ranked jumping in, climbing in. So that's why I'm saying if you're around the 6 million mark, time is there. The SPMs are a lot lower, as you could see, 327, 260, 292, 245, just the days that are played are there. So as the main guys drop out, these guys pushing with a lot of days played are in there for the hunt. And I don't think they pushing for leaderboards. They just love the game. They just love playing it. So, we'll keep an eye on that. Again, that's it for this week. I really hope that things clean up a little bit and you guys stay motivated. I know it's frustrating right now. It's frustrating for me, just to pull out the stats for you guys because it takes me so long. But I'm rooting for you guys to hang in there. Do what you got to do. Play the game, push, and there's always this website that you could come back and if there's anything, leave it up in the comments. I'm going to have other ideas for the website and what to present to you guys, the guys who merit it, the guys who've, stuck around and keep going. So, until next week, guys, hope you have a great week. I hope we have better news next week when we create these videos, and, I'll speak to you then. All right. Peace out.